The basketball world just witnessed something that nobody could have predicted. While everyone was focused on Caitlin Clark breaking records and taking hits, Sophie Cunningham quietly made a move that has the entire sports marketing world scratching their heads. And trust me, what happened next is wilder than anyone reported. Let's rewind to this weekend. The WNBA is finally gaining some serious traction. Viewership is up 400%, attendance has skyrocketed, merchandise sales through Fanatics have grown by 500% since Caitlin Clark entered the league. The fever, pun intended, is real. And then Sophie Cunningham drops this bombshell. No thanks, Knight. I'm rolling with roast beef.
Arby's has a new spokeswoman, and it just so happens to be Sophie Cunningham. Yeah, that's right. She is now on the Arby's payroll, is what is happening. And maybe Arby's is going to snap back to relevance now. Here she is in the new shirt that we saw her in this weekend. Hot girls eat Arby's. Sizes small and large have already sold out on the Arby's.
That's right. While Nike is sitting on a billion-dollar empire, while they just signed Caitlin Clark to an 8-year, $28 million deal, Sophie Cunningham looked at all of that and said, you know what? Arby's has the meats, and apparently they have my signature too. Picture this scene. You're Sophie Cunningham. You've been balling out on the basketball court ever since you got moved into the starting lineup. You've gone from being known as Caitlin Clark's enforcer to becoming the second most popular player on the Indiana Fever. You're having your moment. The spotlight is finally on you, and then your phone rings. But it's not Nike calling. It's not Adidas. It's not Under Armour. It's Arby's. The fast food chain that's been trying to stay relevant since the early 2000s is offering you a sponsorship deal. Most athletes would hang up. Most agents would laugh. But Sophie Cunningham? She said yes. And now, Hot Girls Eat Arby's t-shirts are selling out faster than Caitlin Clark jerseys.
Arby's, they have the meats, now has Indiana star Sophie Cunningham's Hot Girls Eat Arby's t-shirts. Sold out, by the way. Sponsored by them, by the way. Broke the internet on this one.
Here's what makes this story absolutely insane. The timing couldn't be more perfect or more calculated. The WNBA just signed an 11-year TV deal worth $2.2 billion. The league is expanding to 15 teams by 2028. The Fever's net value jumped from $90 million to $340 million, largely because of the Caitlin Clark effect. But while everyone was watching Caitlin take elbows to the face and still drop 30 points, Sophie was building her own brand. She wasn't waiting for the traditional sports apparel companies to notice her. She wasn't sitting around hoping for scraps from Nike's table. She went where the opportunity was. And that opportunity was with a roast beef sandwich company. Let's talk about what this really means. Sophie Cunningham just proved something that's going to shake up the entire sports marketing industry. She proved that in 2025, relevance matters more than prestige. Engagement matters more than tradition. And sometimes the best move is the one nobody sees coming. Think about it. Nike has been in the basketball game for decades. They've got Michael Jordan. They've got LeBron James. They just signed Caitlin Clark to that massive deal. They're the gold standard, the dream destination for every athlete.
Measurable greatness of Caitlin Clark. The unmeasurable greatness of Caitlin Clark. You know, I've said a lot of times I like Caitlin Clark, right? But I never told you why, or really I like Caitlin Clark, or what is it about Caitlin. Caitlin Clark has unmeasurable greatness. You know what unmeasurable greatness is? Is when they give you a $28 million contract that's worth $280 million, right? That's the true value of what Caitlin's worth, right? I mean, Caitlin Clark effect has sent an earthquake through the NCAA basketball, right?
What does Nike have that Arby's doesn't? Authenticity in this moment. Arby's isn't trying to be something they're not. They're not pretending to be the cool athletic brand. They're the we have the meats company, and they're leaning into it hard. Sophie Cunningham wearing a Hot Girls Eat Arby's shirt isn't just marketing. It's a cultural moment. It's meme-worthy. It's the kind of content that breaks the internet, and apparently it breaks sales records too. Sizes small and large sold out on the Arby's website within hours. Meanwhile, Nike is probably sitting in their boardroom wondering how they got outmaneuvered by a fast food chain. They've got billion-dollar budgets, celebrity endorsements, and decades of basketball credibility. But they don't have what Arby's has right now, the element of surprise and the willingness to be different. This isn't just about Sophie Cunningham making a smart business move. This is about the entire landscape of sports marketing changing before our eyes. The old rules don't apply anymore. The The traditional hierarchy is being disrupted by creativity, timing, and the courage to be different. Let's be real about what Sophie accomplished here. She took a moment when she was gaining popularity as Caitlin Clark's teammate and enforcer, and she turned it into her own brand opportunity. She didn't wait for permission. She didn't wait for the right company to call. She saw an opportunity with a brand that was willing to be bold, and she took it.
Somebody that has gotten ridiculously popular this year with the Indiana Fever. I made a prediction that she was going to be the second most popular player on this team by the end of the year. And then, of course, there was the big incident during the Connecticut Sun game. And by the end of that game, she was known as Caitlin Clark's enforcer, right? The one that's got her back. At times, it feels like the only one that's got her back.
And the results speak for themselves. Sophie Cunningham is now a household name, not just because she can ball, but because she made a marketing move that nobody saw coming. She's trending on social media. She's got people talking. She's moved merchandise. But here's what's really wild about this whole situation. While Sophie was making moves with Arby's, the WNBA was dealing with its own drama. Coaches like Stephanie White were getting fined for calling out inconsistent officiating. Players were dealing with physical play that bordered on assault. The league was trying to figure out how to handle its newfound popularity while maintaining competitive integrity. And through all of that chaos, Sophie Cunningham was building her brand. She was creating opportunities. She was proving that sometimes the best business move is the one that makes everyone else say, wait, what? The genius of this move goes beyond just the immediate impact. Sophie Cunningham just showed every athlete in every sport that you don't have to wait for the traditional powerhouses to validate you. You don't have to follow the same path as everyone else. Sometimes the best opportunity is the one that seems completely ridiculous at first glance. Think about the conversation this creates. Every time someone sees Sophie Cunningham now, they're going to think about Arby's. Every time someone mentions hot girls eat Arby's, they're going to think about Sophie Cunningham. That's brand synergy that money can't buy. And let's talk about the cultural impact. Sophie Cunningham just made it cool to partner with unexpected brands. She opened the door for other athletes to think outside the box. She proved that authenticity and creativity can beat tradition and prestige. But here's where this story gets even more interesting. Let's look at the numbers that make this move absolutely brilliant. The WNBA will make $1 billion this year. Overall merchandise sales by Fanatics grew 500% since Caitlin Clark entered the league. Dick's Sporting Goods saw a 233% increase in overall sales. The Fever's net value went from $90 million to $340 million. Average ticket prices jumped by 140% when the Fever play on the road.
Let's go create a complete different league and expose the hell out of the WNBA just to embarrass this Angel Reese girl that Jameel Hill just said she could go down as a Michael Jordan of WNBA.
Yeah. These aren't just statistics. These are proof points that the WNBA audience is engaged, passionate, and willing to spend money. Sophie Cunningham looked at those numbers and realized something that Nike apparently missed. This audience doesn't just want basketball gear. They want to be part of a cultural moment. And that's exactly what Hot Girls Eat Arby's became. It's not just a slogan. It's a movement. It's a statement that says, we're not taking ourselves too seriously, but we're serious about having fun. Nike is probably scrambling right now, trying to figure out how they missed this opportunity. How did they let a fast food chain outmaneuver them for one of the most marketable players in the WNBA? How did they get caught sleeping while Arby's was making moves? The answer is simple. They were playing by the old rules while Arby's was writing new ones. Think about what this means for the future of athlete endorsements. We're not just talking about shoe deals and apparel contracts anymore. We're talking about partnerships that create cultural moments. We're talking about brands that understand their audience and aren't afraid to be different. Sophie Cunningham didn't just sign with Arby's. She created a blueprint for how athletes can build their own brands in ways that traditional sports marketing never imagined. She showed that sometimes the best partnerships come from the most unexpected places. And let's talk about the timing. This happened right in the middle of the WNBA's biggest season ever. Caitlin Clark is dealing with physical play that would make NFL players wince. She's getting elbowed, pushed, and fouled with the consistency of a subway delay, and the refs are treating it like it's just part of the game.
From the entrepreneurship perspective, last year she made over $3 million as a collegiate athlete.
In sponsorship, right? NIL.
And so this makes me think about the fact that there are a lot of people building brands and influence online. And they don't all aspire to be owners of companies, but they do desire to work for organizations and leaders. But what I see when I see those numbers, I see failed leadership of the WNBA. That's what I think.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking about her income.
Yeah.
Yeah, like they couldn't even get her above 500,000.
Meanwhile, Sophie Cunningham is out here making business moves that have everyone talking. She's not waiting for the league to figure out its officiating problems. She's not waiting for the perfect moment. She's creating her own opportunities. This story is bigger than basketball. It's bigger than sports marketing. It's about recognizing opportunity when it comes in unexpected packages. It's about being willing to take risks when everyone else is playing it safe. Sophie Cunningham looked at the traditional path, wait for Nike, hope for Adidas, maybe get a deal with Under Armour, and she said, nah, I'm good. I'll take the roast beef money and build something different. And you know what? It worked brilliantly. The WNBA is in the middle of its biggest moment ever. Caitlin Clark is breaking records and taking hits. The league is expanding. TV deals are getting signed. Money is flowing. But while everyone was watching the obvious story, Sophie Cunningham was writing her own. She was proving that sometimes the best move is the one nobody expects. She was showing that in 2025, creativity beats convention every single time.
Ever since she started getting put in to the starting lineup. So we got a couple of different things that have emerged when it comes to Sophie. Number one, let's start with what happened yesterday, because she has gone viral, all right? She's gone viral over hot girls eat Arby's.
What makes this even more impressive is that Sophie did this while still performing on the court. She's been balling out since getting moved to the starting lineup. She's become known as Caitlin Clark's enforcer, the one who has her back when the refs decide to take a coffee break during obvious fouls. But she didn't let that role define her. She used it as a launching pad for something bigger. She took the attention that came with being Caitlin's teammate and turned it into her own brand opportunity. So here's to Sophie Cunningham for making the move that has everyone talking. Here's to Arby's for being bold enough to make it happen. And here's to the future of sports marketing, where the only rule is that there are no rules. Because if this story taught us anything, it's that the game has changed. The players who recognize that first are the ones who win. And right now, Sophie Cunningham is winning in ways that nobody saw coming. The question isn't whether this was a smart move. The sold-out merchandise and viral social media presence already answered that. The question is, who's going to be brave enough to make the next unexpected move? Because after what Sophie Cunningham just pulled off, every athlete in every sport is probably looking at their phone a little differently when it rings, even if it's a fast food chain on the other end. Sometimes the best opportunities come from the most unexpected places. Sophie Cunningham just proved that, and the sports world will never be the same.